Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another Talk Raw podcast. In today's episode, please welcome Ryan Havoc to the show with your host, Trevor and Nick.
Thanks for having me on the show, first of all.
So if you don't know who Ryan Crozini is, he's a photographer buddy of mine. And, dude, Ryan, what really got you into doing photography and taking pictures?
What got me into photography, I think it was the first memory of it. I think it was when I was at the Roger Williams Zoo. I think I was about 5 or 6, and I was with my aunt, who's now passed away. Her name was Susan, and she had this this slim 35 millimeter camera. It was like one of the top models, and I remember it had a big black pouch with an orange lining in it. And even though this thing was preferably small, it was really heavy for me to carry. The thing was literally all batteries and film.
I think my first camera was an Olympus point and shoot. It was like 4 megapixels, and I thought that camera was awesome.
And I want to say it was maybe a Fuji or something like that. But it was like, at the time, a $400 or $500 camera. And I'm not sure if I still have it. I might still have it. But what got me into photography was that moment of a family day. You know, you take pictures to remember that day. And
You know, I totally agree with you on that. I think what is the cool thing about like Polaroid cameras, you can actually share physical pictures with somebody. Nowadays, no one's sharing physical photos with anybody. People are always worried about, oh, well, I got an iPhone, I'll take a picture and they upload it to Facebook. It's like, dude, sometimes actually physically sharing it with a friend in person is more personal than just sharing it on the web, where let's say 60 people see it, but they actually never have the physical photo. Because I actually remember the days of getting physical photos from like a family member in the mail, and you get excited. Nowadays, you can't even expect that people take photos and they're like, well, dude, I put it on Facebook. I would rather have a physical photo sometimes.
growing up, I was always drawing. I was always doing something artistic, painting. But I didn't have the resources to do photography. It wasn't really introduced to me yet because I was so young. And through high school, I had it was just an off-brand Olympus camera that had come out. It was really bad. It took one of those old massive memory cards. It was like a almost flash drive.
That's like early 2000.
And it wouldn't fit into a computer because the technology hadn't even come out yet. It was one of the ones that you had to bring to like Walgreens or CVS, and they'd basically put it up on a big computer screen.
Yeah, that flash drive thing is way before my time because I don't even remember that. I remember you having to take film to like Walgreens or CVS or Walmart.
And okay, I like this one, let's print that one. It was an Olympus something. It had like a 70x zoom on it, but it took horrible photos.
And nowadays, people don't even take pictures for the right reasons. They take pictures to take selfies and throw it up on Instagram. I think taking pictures in vlog-style video is to document your life. So later in life, your family, your friends could see what you did as a younger person. But I think nowadays, people just hold up their cell phone and go, I'm taking a picture of a selfie, or they take pictures of their like Taco Bell burrito and upload it to Instagram. It's like, dude, you're not gonna go back in 20 years and look at that Taco Bell burrito and be like, yeah, I remember that day. Come on now, pictures and video vlogs are documenting your life.
I want people to get something out of it. You know, I want people to look at it and instantly see a story. It doesn't have to be the story I'm portraying in the image, but I want the viewer to value the photo and have their own perception of it.
So what got you into those horror movies?
To me, now I'm only like 7, he says to me, "That's what it really looks like, you know." And I was just like, "Oh my god," I was just scarred for life. But
So what's your preference, DSLR digital cameras or the old school film cameras?
as far as using film over DSLR, I mean, for my street photography, I typically do use a Ricoh, which is a digital camera. They also make film cameras, but I don't know if you can see it. This camera up on the shelf here in back of me. It's a Pentax K1000. That was actually my first that I owned film camera, and I bought it for like $30. I was hooked ever since. It's almost fully manual. With that, you have to adjust focal lengths, which is aperture, exposure, metering. I mean, people say you don't need to know math when you grow up. Yeah, you do.
Homeless in America thing you've been talking about. I know you're very passionate about it because you have an IndieGoGo thing going on, and you really want this to be a successful hit thing.
The Homeless in America series is a campaign I started on IndieGoGo. Hopefully it'll go somewhere.
It's still a good thing to see somebody out there giving a shit about homeless people, because a lot of people in the mainstream look at homeless people and they're like, homeless people are bums, they're scrubs, they're lower class, and it looks like you're willing to give your time and effort to tell these people's stories, which is a cool thing, because some of these are war veterans who come back from like Iraq and they have nowhere to live. So it's messed up that you see a guy who's busted his ass to keep this country alive, and then in the end of it all, he's living on the street because he has no job, nobody will hire him. So basically, he lives on the street, and people look at him, "You're a scum." And it's like, no, if it wasn't for this dude, you wouldn't be safe.
Interview people who live on the streets here in the Boston area, in Worcester area, and I photograph them and I tell their story through my next book, which is going to be called Homeless in America. The campaign on IndieGoGo is called Ending Hunger Through Photography, and basically what it is, I tell their story through the book that I'm going to be putting out, and I take their picture, and in return for them, the proceeds from the campaign will go to giving them food vouchers or items of clothing instead of actual money, so that if they have a food voucher, they can actually use it for food and only food.
So if you want to talk about where people can find you and find where your photos are at?
Yeah, more people can find me at my website, ryancorazzini.com. I'm sure to post a link down below. Also, I have my portfolio is also online at flickr.com/photos/Corazzini. And you can also check out my IndieGoGo page. Just go to indiegogo.com/hunger photography, I believe the URL is. I'm sure Trevor will put a link down below here. And also I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Corazzini photos.
So what's this photography book you just released?
The photography book I put out just recently. It's called Unspectacular Moments. It's mainly street photography. The reason I chose Unspectacular Moments is because the whole idea of being on the street, everybody's going about their day-to-day business. People are on the street because they need to get somewhere. And I called it Unspectacular Moments as an oxymoron because it is a spectacular moment, but the subject is oblivious to it. And I really like that idea. It's a big oxymoron, and I like puns, stuff like that.
So with that being said, guys, if you want to hear the full podcast, it's in the description box below. So I'll let you guys know it's a full audio podcast in the description box below. It is a 21-minute interview with Ryan Corazzini, which is a photographer buddy of mine that I actually met off of YouTube back in 2010, I think it is, when he used to be really hardcore in the vlogging and everything like that. But he is a photographer, and he does have a Flickr account where he posts a lot of his pictures, and most of them are black and white. I guess a lot of people love the black and white feel and the black and white look. So with that being said, all of his links are in the description box if you want to check out his Flickr, his website. So with that being said, I'll definitely talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.